anklets to make sweet sounds. He wants a sporty of this. He wants all these sporties in his heart. Heart means mind, heart means soul. So this is 25. I pray that Sri Radha's lotus feet, which are decorated with sweetly tinkling ankle bells, and are filled with limitless beauty, delicate softness, susnigdha, delicate softness, sweet fragrance, parimala, parimala saundarya. Parimala means sweet fragrance. A flood of transcendental splendor, kanti dhara, that's what I thought. Because dhara means, rupanuga dhara, dhara means river, current, rushing river. Kanti dhara, they're kanti, Radha Kanti, her feet are so effulgent. They're like a river of effulgence flowing from her feet. He says, it's very nice, he's saying that a flood of transcendental splendor, kanti dhara. Radharani's feet, they create a flood of transcendental splendor. And a host of other transcendental virtues may appear before me. So Kamar Adya. Adya means and others. Or Adya means others. So Kamarya. So soft, so delicate, soothing, tender, sanctified, beautiful, matchless lotus feet. Parimala, he's translating parimala as sanctified. Sometimes it can be translated that, but really the idea of fragrance is more correct. Parimala means very fragrant. So again, he's praying for this type of vision, this type of sporty. Further qualifications of her feet, they're beautiful, and they're tender, they're fragrant, matchless, soothing. And those ankle bells, again, he's always, that's a characteristic of her feet, is her tinkling ankle bells. When Govinda Lilamrita is describing the rasa dance of Radha and Krishna's Nitya Lila in Ratrikal, it says that there was a fifth musical instrument. There's 4 basic musical instruments. There's wind instruments, there's percussion instruments, there's cymbals, and there's, I forget the other one, giants, whatever. There's 4 basic musical instruments. Wind, percussion is drums, and then there's wind instruments like flute. No, I mean musical instruments. It's called percussion. Percussion instruments means drums, percussion. Then wind instruments means flutes and piccolos and all that's called wind. And then cymbals means chimes, triangles, cymbals, triangles. And then stringed. It's called category. Stringed instruments, wind instruments, percussion instruments, and cymbals. Bells, cymbals, chimes, triangles, ting, 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 ting. The cowbells, tunk, tunk, tunk. This is all like that. That's 4. In any musical ensemble, you can have these 4. These are the 4 possible musical instruments that exist. Sarangi, sarod, tambora, they fit in these. These are the 4 categories of musical instruments. But however, in the rasa dance, there's a 5th category. And the fifth category, the entrance of the 5th category, and the combination of the 5th category was like a special catalyst. Like you have 2 things, but when you add the 3rd thing, the sum total of the 2 things becomes something different. Because that catalyst enhances the 2 things and creates a new 3rd product by the addition of the catalyst. 1 and 1 makes 2, but 1 and 1 plus the catalyst makes a 3rd surprising thing. So the catalyst here was the gopis, and their addition was the 5th category musical instruments. And when that 5th category, acting as a catalyst, mixed with the other 4 musical instruments that were there being played by the Sakhis and Mandris, wind instruments, string percussion, and wind, and cymbals, gongs, etc., bells, and finger cymbals. Then it became the most incredible expose and music concert and sound emporium that could ever be imagined. All the demigods were totally bewildered by the sum total of all that musical sound of the rasa dance. And even though they know Indra is such a learned man in Sangeet and music, and Shiva and Brahma, everyone became totally amazed. What is this new creation, this new sound, these new ragas and raganis? And that fifth category musical instruments. What was it? Radharani's Nupura, Radharani's Kinkini, Radharani's waist bells or ankle bells, and her wristlets, her bangles. When these were jingling perfectly in time, creating whole new ragas and raganis, which is the fifth category instruments, which was the musical perfection of the rasa dance. This is described by Krishna's Kaviraj and Govinda Lilamrita. That's why in all these verses, Tunga Vidyasakhi, who has Nupura, Tunga Vidyasakhi is one of the Astastakis of Radharani. Tunga Vidyasakhi is the author of Vrindavan, Mahimamrita, and Sangeet Madhav, and Chaitanya Satak, and the various other books. And he's saying that Tunga Vidyasakhi, she's an Astasaki in the rasa dance, wearing ankle bells, and playing that fifth category of musical instrument called the ornaments, the gopis' ornaments. And that's a new category. Jing, 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 tinkle, 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 jing, jing, bing, bing, ding, ding, like this. And when that fifth category of instrument starts vibrating, then Krishna goes crazy. Krishna really, he goes absolutely mad. So he's telling us, meditate on that. Those lotus feet, that Radharani's lotus feet are soothing, susnigdha, and tender, and kantidhara, they're so effulgent. Kantidhara, what does he say here? He says here is more accurate. He says that they're a flood of transcendental splendor. Kantidhara, parimala, very fragrant, sundari, beautiful. Sukumari is so soft and delicate and gentle. And they're ameya charna kamalam. Ameya means they're matchless. Charna kamala. Those lotus feet of Radharani are matchless in all these categories. They have matchless tenderness and matchless beauty and matchless fragrance and matchless delicateness and softness. And then more matchless is finally the Sukala Nupara Spuratu. That Sukala Nupara, he translates as sweet sounds. Radharani's ankle bells are making sweet sounds. And he says, decorated with sweetly tinkling ankle bells. Sukala Nupuram. Sukala Nupuram Spuratu. But Sukala means newer arts, artistic. The ankle bells of Radharani are vibrating and singing, as I mentioned, in all these ragas and raganis, and newer artistic ways. They're creating newer art forms, newer music forms. Sukala. Kala means the arts. This is the sweet sound of her ankle bells. This is another glorification of Radharani. So tomorrow we'll continue to hear the glories of Radhatanaya Mahima and further sweet glories of Radharani's lotus feet. So we would like to pray to Prabhupada Saraswati Tunga Vidyasakhi and to Sri Radha that maybe in our meditations, in our japa meditations, tonight, today and tomorrow, that some vision of these lotus feet may appear in the spurti, or a reflection of an abhas of a spurti, or some dim reflection. And then we would consider that our study of Vrindavan Mahimamrita is bearing some fruit. When the lotus feet of Radharani arise in our mind, or at least our remembrance, we're chanting and we remember, oh, Radharani's feet are very soft. And they're a flood of transcendental splendor. Kantidhara or susnigdha. Even if we remember a word of describing Radharani's feet are ameya, you should remember this one, ameya charana kamalam. You're chanting, oh, Radharani's feet she has feet, yeah. Oh, they're ameya charana kamalam. They're matchlessly beautiful, they're more beautiful than thousands of kamal, lotus flowers. And they're parimala, they're so fragrant. How fragrant? I don't know. I smelled fragrant roses. I smelled fragrant dewy flowers and kadamba, but there must be much more fragrant than that parimala. And there's sukomala. It says sukomaraya. And there's susnigdha. They're so soft and they're so smooth to the touch. And what are they like? Oh Radharani, please, when will you manifest your lotus feet in my consciousness? Shiva is praying for Radha Kripa Kataksha. Kataksha Bhajanam Kripa Kataksha. How's it go? Kripa Kataksha. Kada Karishyasiyamam. Kripa Kataksha Bhajanam. So he's praying, Lord Shiva, Mahadev is praying for a sidelong glance. That's his adhikar, Gopishwar, Mahadev. Can you glance? Someone only glances at someone that they're interested in. You look at someone you're interested in. If you're not interested, you don't look. I have no interest. So he has that adhikar. So he's praying for that. So we're praying that I'm not qualified to have a glance, a sidelong glance. But can I see your lotus feet? My petition starts there at your lotus feet. This is our Acharya, Mahajan Acharya is telling us this. He's not telling us to pray for a sidelong glance. Shiva is telling us, and we pray for that. We pray for mercy, however it comes, from our feet or our eyes, or however we get Radharani's mercy. Or at least our meditation or prayer now, taking shape of his recommendation or his instructions, is that we pray to Radharani as he's praying, let me spend my time in Vrindavan always remembering, or at least once time or sometime remembering Radharani's lotus feet, which have all these beautiful attributes and qualities of form and shape and color and softness and sound and prabhav. We heard about the prabhav of her feet also. Then when Krishna just remembers her lotus feet, he starts crying, tears, and he holds her feet and he starts crying. This is the prabhav, prabhavena. The verse was prabhav, charna pada, Radha charna pada prabhavena, prabhavena. The sort of prabhav of Radharani's lotus feet. So hearing all these talks about Radharani's lotus feet, it turns us to reflection, and it points us toward prayer, and we can only hope against hope that Radharani will be very kind and appear out of her form, merciful form of the holy name, and appear before us in the form of her Rup Darshan, Nam Rup Gun Lila. We're chanting Radha Nam every day, so many rounds and rounds and rounds of Radha Nam. Hare, 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 Radha, 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 Krishna, Krishna, Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram. And we pray for the Rupam will manifest from that sound vibration, so we can begin today and see Radharani's lotus feet and chanting the holy name of Radha and Krishna in the Radha Govinda Yugal mantra. Radha Krishna Yugal mantra. Radha Krishna Sthita Mahamantra. Radha Krishna Yugal Sthita Mahamantra. That's how we like to describe it. The Mahamantra is a Sthita mantra, and it's Yugal, Radha Krishna Yugal. Radha Krishna Yugal Sthita mantra. Radha Krishna Yugal Sthita Mahamantra. We should understand that, and we should realize that, and chant with that understanding. This mantra gives all perfection. Nam Namakari Bahudan Nija Sarva Shaktis. Sarva Shaktis, all power, all perfection, everything is there. Anuraga, non-anuraga, I have no attraction. Why? Because I'm Durdevam. I'm Durdevam. I'm far. I'm dur from rag. Dur. I'm very far from rag. I have no attraction to Krishna's holy name. I have no attachment to his name. And why am I so far from rag? Because between me and my heart and the holy name and rag, and nam bhav, nam prema is a big ocean called aparad. There's a big ocean of aparad, and I'm drowning in it. Vaishnava aparad, Dhamma aparad, Seva aparad, Shastra aparad, and Jiva aparad. So many aparads. Durdeva means aparadi. Durdevam. So I'm giving some analogy to explain. Durdevam nan anurag, na anurag. I have no anurag. So I pray, let me become free from anartha-nivrti means. What does anartha-nivrti mean? It means become free from aparads. That's all it means. Because if you're chanting Hare Krishna, then Kam, Krodh, Lobha, all that goes very fast. But aparads lingers. You're following forward with the principles year after year after year, so many years, 1,000 lifetimes, and by the power and strength of chanting the holy name. But then, and the holy name destroys all the anarthas in the form of Kam, Krodh, Lobha that are stored in our chitta. But then we're generating with our free will a monster called aparad. we're generating with our free will a monster called aparad. One side, the name is just knocking off, like machine gun bullets, knocking off all of our anarthas in the form of material desires in our prabdha. Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moha, Matsarya. But then, so that's going on. But then, and we're getting purified, and all of a sudden, it's like the elephants bathing. We bathe in the sweet lake of the holy name, Ambrosia, Nam Ambrosia Lake. Then we come out of the Nam Ambrosia Lake and start rolling on the banks of Namaparad. We roll in the dust, we roll in the dirt of Namaparad. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And we're really feeling purified and feeling connected with Krishna, and we're feeling His presence. And then we go somewhere, we meet some devotees, and someone says something about some devotee, and we say, "Yeah, this devotee." Then this cobra rises out, and we start, making some aparads, and oops, take one step forward, and one step back, and one step forward. How do we make progress that way? That's why the whole Chaitanya Bhagavat is talking about the nectar of Gaur Lila. Then watch out for aparads. The nectar of Gaur Lila, watch out for aparads, isn't it?